Happy Monday. Hi Molly. Hi Everypony.
Good evening, everybody. Beanie 365 Wave.
A wolf is present.
I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim.
Alrighty. Give me a second, chat.
Good evening, Molly.
Good evening. I didn't realize, but apparently they're having their, I guess Donald Trump and Elon Musk are having their thing right now. And it's broken.
Good evening, Molly.
Oh my gosh. Is all of Twitter just broken because of this? How do you fuck up your code base this bad?
A head pat hello from a wolf, given to chat.
My chat is gone. I gotta reopen it. I was snoozing before. Before stream, man. It was good. Give me a second to
Hey there, sup all.
wake up.
Head pats for everyone.
Good evening, Molly. Nice.
Yay, both Elon Musk and Donald Trump got wrecked at last. LOLXD.
Scott Summers.
Moles, wake up and go back to sleep, brah.
Wake up and go back to sleep. Is this just like broken?
I can't stay up either. There's a workers coming in tomorrow morning. I had to be up.
This is borderline the same stuff we had last time here.
I am not feeling myself today, Molly in chat. I don't think I'm sick, but I have a runny nose, dry or sore throat, and been coughing quite a bit.
Well, I'm certainly sorry to hear that.
Cher is too fluffy.
Dude, just give us a lightsaber. They've done every, like, thing, but just give us a lightsaber, man.
Oofy enter.
Oh, you poor thing, Abrupt. Do you want cuddles and maybe some chicken soup? Maybe that will help? Bonk. Good evening, Molly.
Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup with a baseball bat.
It doesn't give a crap what they
Right?
want.
You guys keep on joining and leaving. You guys can just join.
If you are doing second squad, then divs. Moles, I sadly am gonna miss out on work. 2 days this week.
Ruko enter.
I don't know if that's sad.
Hello, hello.
I mean, I guess if you're hourly, it
everyone?
means you won't get the money, but... Good morning!
Chicken and rice. Chicken and rice. Chicken and rice. Had there been 2 squad on Monday? Court date. Because I missed
I mean,
out
it
on
just
jury duty
depends.
the past 2 years. Forgot to update my address this entire time.
Alright, we'll roll with this squad.
I guess I'm back.
Okay, it doesn't look like...
Dr. Doom, War Machine, Gwenpool, Dr. Mysterio, and the Lady Black Panther are in Fortnite Bonk.
Well, they will be. We saw them in the trailer for,
Worried? Note said I
for
might
the
get
thing.
punished with a fine and prison time or something.
No, you're fine.
I ready.
Why you bullying me?
If you get jury duty and you have to go in, your work is legally obligated to pay you for that time. They can't punish you for it. And I believe, depending on like what the jury duty is, you'll get compensation for
Yeah, that's
doing it as well.
The new season with Marvel and Fortnite.
Oh wait, you're going to court. Wait, they're summoning you to court because you missed jury duty?
A head pat and hug for Sen,
Oh, well, that's a little bit different.
Princess,
Um,
Zan, and Outcast.
you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, pretty empty. Bonk. I said good evening, Molly.
Yeah, good evening.
No bully pony.
Thank you, Aurora. Beanie, 3
When's your court date? Are you sure it's an official letter?
Thank you.
Like, what is the... Like, what is the, like, part of the, like, top of the letter say? Does it say, like...
Imagine I do go to prison, though. So if I don't come back Saturday, y'all at least know.
Because typically, I mean, I would imagine if you did something illegal, they're not gonna... I feel like they would just, you know, come get you if they
Molly,
could.
can I please have a hug?
What's up, Fernando? As Jafar Montemayor. What a fancy smancy name.
Excuse me, Molly. Can I please have a hug?
Yeah, man.
It says you failed to respond to 2 jury summons and failed to comply to a notice of non-compliance. The reason is, the workers need to finish inside the house.
And they're saying you have court? I mean, they apparently now have your correct address. When are they saying you need to... When are they saying you need to, appear at court by? Whew. Oh my gosh, always.
No, they don't still. I got this letter like last week from my old residence. Family sent it to me. Court date is this Friday. Molly, you sound like you're tired.
I am tired. Well. Fuck! That's the first time I ever missed.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch!
No! I was on such a great pace! Fuck! Huh.
You're not the only one. I'm also tired.
That's an interesting one. I haven't, Let's see.
Are you okay, Molly?
I think if you go and you just explain, like, what happened, you should be fine. This is for New York, so...
Failure to show up will result in a civil fine of 250 buckaroos, a court order date for jury duty service, and/or criminal context charge of prison time.
Most likely they'll just hit you with a fine, and not even a maximum fine if you just didn't show up. I guess you can show up and then do it, but you may not even need to show up. I don't know if it's like... There may be something you could do. Give me a second. Because this wouldn't be uncommon. Like, imagine if you, like, went homeless or something, right? Like, homeless people are still in the registry for jury duty, but they won't have, like, an address.
Probably, but I'ma show up just to update the damn home address. Meant to do that. I don't mind jury duty.
Okay, so... Yeah, it just seems like you gotta do what the letter says. Got a non-compliance letter for attending jury duty. What should I expect when I show up? For the record, you can get a one-time postponement for any reason. You can also be released from dates. Is there a number for you to call? Huh.
A number to call them?
Yeah, like, is there a number attached? Like, if you have questions, call so-and-so.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like you would just have to, you have to show up. If you look at the address that it's telling you to show up at, make sure it's like a court, like an actual court, and not like, I don't know, some guy's house. Oh, Elon Musk is coping right now. Oh no, he's coping. This is so bad for him. He's claiming that the he's supposed to be having a meeting with Trump.
The area they're sending me to. What did Muskie do?
He's supposed to be having an interview with Trump on X that he's been hyping up. And as everyone figured would happen, it's not working. You can't join. And it's just breaking. And he's claiming it's a DDoS attack. But it's not a DDoS attack because all the other spaces are working. And everything else about Twitter is working. So it sounds like Musk just shit the bed. Which I assume is gonna happen because
Come on, bro.
he did a stress test, I guess, earlier, and it was just it was not good. The stress test was not good.
All this.
Don't take the glove. Why would you? I literally just dropped them so I could get them. So I could take my meds. Bruh, watched me do it. And was still like, yeah, they don't want these. Wait, can I have my gloves back? Because I don't see any others. My gloves. So Elon fucked himself? I mean, he should have just known that his shit has been broken forever.
I was AFK, so now I have to try and make it to you guys without any weapons.
Let the rich man dig his own grave with an ego-shaped shovel mold.
He's already dug his own grave. Honestly, I would not be surprised if he gets sued. Pretty hardcore for election interference. For all kinds of things. This is Like, you want to talk about, like, people literally, like, have giant conspiracy theories about the deep state and people interfering in the elections and whatnot. And, like, you know, the Rothschilds and Rupert Murdoch. Elon Musk is literally that. He is a billionaire, the richest man in the world, like, who bought a social media platform, pushes non-stop propaganda, including using AI, which was crazy to me, reposting AI footage of a currently running candidate with no, like, disclaimer or warning. That seemed crazy to me. If, like, Mark Zuckerberg did that with, like, Trump on Twitter, like, it would be seen as insane.
How did he interfere with the election, Molly?
Well, just like how I just said there. If it turns out that the leaks about the accounts that he's whitelisting is true, that's going to be a big thing. Just the misinformation that he posts, if you just scroll down his feed, it's almost entirely propaganda. He'll sometimes preface it like, he won't say outright something. He'll say like interesting, he'll do that, but he's playing a very dangerous game. He's been sued before because of his antics, and he's lost every single time. So I don't know why he's doing this, honestly. That might even be why he made the other person CEO. I think a lot of people forget that he's not even CEO of, like, his own companies. I forget if it's just Tesla in general, but, like, he was required by law to step down. I forget the charges. It was related to share price fixing and other things, because he wanted to meme on Twitter. Or I think it's something like he can't be on the board, or he could only be on the board or something. I can't remember.
Moles. I recently watched some political stances from Bernie Sanders, and now I'm kind of conflicted about my decision for the election.
Well, you gotta give me more to go on. Bernie's not a running candidate. So, like, he's not running for president.
I sent it to Stream Chat.
I mean, we can take a look. I don't see anything. What, is it just a screenshot of the, like, CNN?
Socialist senator from Nevada?
Wait, what?
This is why I would really like to have those gloves. God damn it.
Oh my fucking, hold on. Thought I sent it.
I'm lucky these guys suck like absolute donkey cock right now.
There.
Huh? Damn it. How did he not explode, bro?
To Sen, Daryl, and Outcast. A head pat and hug.
Oh, we can't. I can't. I have no health.
Thanks, Wolfie. Snuggles.
Thank you again, Wolfie.
It's just like straight up mountain here. I didn't realize how fucking, it's just literally just nothing here but just the side of the mountain, snow and ice.
Moly high.
What's up?
It's only you two left. You guys have to cook now.
Hello, Ben.
Oh, yeah, they're coming. Actually, no, they're not. They're not pushing. Yeah. Why are those minnows? I need wood. Ooh. He's cracked.
Been trying some apps for crafting items. So far, it's...
No! No! No!
As a member of the Homo sapiens, do you particularly enjoy audio wave of music that play a certain beat in the form of jazz music?
Bro, this is a YouTube?
Oh,
It's a YouTube short. This a single minute long thing is changing your mind about the
Ah,
election?
you tried,
Okay, well, let's
Moss
see.
Nice try, Moles.
We almost got him too.
Fuck!
Oh, is it working now?
jazz.
Hang on. Is it?
Yay, get wrecked on your first try, Moly Lowell XD bonk.
That's crazy. Why is my name right there next to Trump's? And Kyle, I have no idea who Kyle is. And Patrick. And Tony. And Christopher. These sound like bot accounts. He's not talking.
Huh.
Well, what do you expect? It is my fault. I went AFK, and then I did have great weapons. Then I got knocked. If I had to go weapons, I would have assist you and Paul McDonald Storm before those assholes knocked me. I would have helped you win. But I got knocked by the assholes.
Okay, so host is Donald Trump.
Wait, you got the pony voices back. Has start sides. So, for...
Drink
No?
water, you dehydrated
None of
bitch.
these
I
are
honestly
actually
would
a-
rather listen to Bernie Sanders than Joe Biden, Kamala, and perhaps Trump.
So you're riding with Biden now? Okay, let's see what this clip is.
Less well off in your country voted.
Excellent.
So many people who are less well off in your country voted and will probably vote again for Donald Trump.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because they're looking at the government, they're looking at the Democratic Party and saying, I can't afford health care. My kid can't afford to go to college. Everything being
Richard?
equal, my daughter is going to have a lower standard of living than I do. What are you doing for me? You're not doing really much. Trump is coming along. He is an atypical politician. He wants to get rid of all of that stuff. Why not? Maybe I think he's a little crazy. Maybe I don't agree with him on this, but he's not part of the old-fashioned political establishment. So that has an appeal. Bottom line here is the way to beat Trump is to say, yeah, you want change, we're going to give you change. But it's not based on racism, it's not based on xenophobia. It's a change that says we're going to create an economy for you, not just for billionaires.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty well known, I'd say. Trump has no policy, by and large. He has buzzwords. He has slogans. Build the wall, send her to jail, etc. People voted for Trump because he was casted as the not typical politician, which is hilarious because he was a billionaire. He was born from wealth. He's a billionaire. His entire... I also found out it seems like a large portion of his wealth came from The Apprentice at that. But yeah, that was a big part. It was that he was not a normal guy. Oh, Elon Musk joined. But they're both muted.
Got me into politics. I would have voted for him if I was old enough.
So we're there. Sorry, it flashed and then it went away, but we're there. We're just waiting for them to all unmute themselves.
Too bad Cleaton came and fucked it up.
What, fucked it up for coming into politics when I voted for him? Yeah, no, I think, what was it? When was Bernie? Bernie was Hillary...
That just sounds like the typical Bernie Sanders talking point. Free
Hillary
healthcare,
v. Trump,
free
yeah.
college education. Add in the whole, oh, Trump, a racist, sexist, this, that.
All these things are true,
It's not that
though.
impressive to me.
Trump is racist and sexist,
With Twitter is going
and legally, And legally, I can call Trump a rapist. I can legally call Trump a rapist without it ever being defamatory. You know, since people brush that underneath the rug, I'm surprised they don't attack him. Oh!
My apologies for the late start.
That's Elon!
A massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines, like basically hundreds of gigabits of.
Shut the fuck up, Elon!
We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say. And
former President Trump.
I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when
I can't pause it too much, or I can't pause.
No one's themselves. Interview. So and this is really.
Can you guys let me know if
Sounds like some who would name their child after a car plate number.
Well, he kind of did. Remember, it's AXE7 or something. Like, is the audio getting lower for you guys or anything? Whenever I speak.
Honored to Donald. Great to speak.
Bro is fumbling hard here, man. It sounds like he's trying to glaze.
And posted, it would have been excellent. I hope we can have something.
Hi guys, I was just playing.
I want the audio to dip whenever I speak, so.
Congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which...
Now, Ron Paul is the one who really got robbed. It still hurts.
He won, but he gave up because he didn't want to prolong the next presidency.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch!
You were pumping your fist in the air and saying fight, 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 and I think that's...
Let's go Bernie Sanders.
The dick eating is unreal right now.
That is America. That is strength under fire.
It's how we reliving my youth.
So that's a big part of the reason.
Bro is munching.
I'm excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here. Is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean.
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. Yeah, I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle. And
he never got shot. Apparently, is what it seems to be. He got hit by shrapnel, but
I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot less than this where you feel it's a surreal situation.
But if I was him, I would milk this too.
Immediately.
Incorrect. Please try again. What do you mean incorrect?
That it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down, so I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, you know, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle. And
how do I log in?
on immigration that showed that.
Wait, are the bots not working?
I love that chart even more
maybe
now
it's a
than
sign. Maybe that's a sign, you know.
All right, let me restart the bots.
You highlighted a serious issue.
Let him eat the crusty. What the fuck, bro?
But you know,
Nah. All right, maybe you guys don't deserve to speak there. Holy fuck! What was that?
That sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper. He was just a fantastic.
What the fuck are they talking about?
Fantastic man.
They're yapping, bro.
Elon had said, I'd like to give the family some kind of.
Is this interview on video, Molly? And if so, can we see?
He said, do you mind? I said,
No, there's no video. Elon's hosting it on Spaces. I'm trying to log in on the other computer for better audio for you guys.
A nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen.
Professor Yapati Yap.
Unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did.
He's saying it's not a...
I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two.
He's saying it's not like an interview, etc. Or... it's a conversation, though I'm pretty sure...
Bullets flying over me. I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous, thousands and thousands of people.
I'm pretty sure he's called it an
Molly,
interview.
please fix bots.
How many people have been killed?
You're using the bots right now.
And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the
Okay, there we go.
service a sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium, and he saw the smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it.
There we go.
Immediately took a shot, and it was one perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. So I have to take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. You know, he's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun.
I said that like 5 minutes before bots delayed.
Obviously, he has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that.
On that comment.
But he took aim very quickly, and it was. They say it was approximately 5.
There we go.
From long range,
I've
one
laid
bullet.
every bit of the record out.
But that didn't
Hand to
happen
hand to
because
head to
the
this hen
shooter
the
had
thing.
a lot of bullets. He
Joe
had a
Biden
lot
during
of-
the debate.
A lot of cartridges
Sure.
up there with him, so could have been very.
Joe's not running.
That's clearly, he was very confident in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be, some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how that on earth.
Okay. Can you guys hear it now?
There should have been nobody in the roof.
As well?
There were people because there were.
We'll be raising the volume here, but...
There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it. And she's screaming, Well, that guy's got a
Yeah,
gun,
we can
you know,
still
he's
hear
got
it.
Probably. There's a guy up there with a gun.
And at least I can.
I guess, I mean, for my part, I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, basically people wandering by.
There we go.
There's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Yeah.
I'm pushing it all the way up
Somehow that's
a bit more.
not being addressed. That does seem
Yeah,
crazy.
well-
I don't know how much you're gonna just yap.
Communication between the local police, who sort of
Drink
had an
water,
idea, and then
dehydrated
ultimately a
bitch.
man lifted himself up to the roof,
hate to
could
ask this,
barely do
but
it
why are
because
we
he was
listening to
pulling
this again?
himself up. And
Yeah.
Because it's a
man with the gun.
currently running
The man with the gun pointed the
precedent.
gun at him,
I'm curious what Elon is going to
but he was like
ask
pulling
him.
himself up.
I am pretty curious there. Right now they're just yapping. Right now they're yapping, and I don't really give a fuck about this. I'm hoping that there's something interesting that comes from it.
He did say there was a guy up there with a gun, and the shooting started.
But right now it's just Elon eating Trump's dick.
The shooter to go maybe quicker. You know, you're supposed to be a very
Probably.
My son.
If it is for
John and Eric,
too long of a period, yeah, I'll just.
But they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf,
Yeah.
sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
It's not a. It's
Oh,
not
I
a
got
long
shot.
shot.
The bullet
The
hit me.
Secret
Blah, blah.
Service
Oh, my.
person had the long shot. He had a.
He didn't even get shot though.
So it's
Bro got hit by shrapnel.
a terrible thing. Look, it's hard. I have to say this.
Right now, they're just talking about the assassination attempt.
And, I went down based on, I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off,
Yeah,
and it
like,
does
we
happen
didn't
in
hear that
stadiums and
100
a
times
soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees.
Of course he's gonna milk it, but to be fair, Elon was the one that asked. So I mean, and if you're listen, it's good PR, right?
Matches or these games.
I wouldn't blame Trump for milking the shit out of this. It's really good PR. The photo goes hard, dude.
And you look
This
at
wolf
it
is
as
off
it
into
was
the
taking
night.
place, and
Head pats and
normally
hugs
they'd be
for
running.
Sen, Daryl,
They
and
didn't. They saw
Outcast.
that I was hurt.
Have a good night.
A lot of blood, and they saw that I went down, and it's almost like they wanted
Oh,
to be
wait.
with me. Well,
I watch
out
all news
front,
broadcasts when
you
this
had
happens.
thousands,
What
tens
am I
of
saying?
thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Buffalo.
See you later,
As far
Wolfie.
as the eye could see, and
Yeah.
and a lot of press too. It was many
night,
cameras
Webster.
on watching this. It's what makes it so different because normally
Oh,
things
air
happen
shot.
that aren't good, but you never have.
Yeah, that was actually really
these
fucking
cameras shooting it.
smooth.
So sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things
Good
was
night,
that
Aurora. Have
you
a nice
didn't have
day.
anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like I mean, I tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people.
Okay, I really hate this. Like, what?
So I was down.
What?
But
It just disappeared.
there were bullets flying right over my head.
Oh, you really want these guys with a foxhole? Anyone can make that shot from it's super
And a
easy.
young lady came.
It's like, motherfuckers, none of you have served. Trump has Trump has dodged service at every angle.
Coordination.
It's just really weird
Obviously,
verbiage.
everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered. And
I mean,
that was
I
the
think
big thing.
They've already talked about the building needing to be covered.
Aerial views. That building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite, so if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building. The
You're
roof of
right.
that building would be #1.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better location. It's like
no,
#1.
that would have been the spot. You know what people think
Yeah.
is when the local policeman, who by the way, he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head, and when he fell down, again, hurt his ankle very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun, he ran to the site and he started shooting fast, and maybe
This does seem to be the case from what we could tell. The reason why he missed was because he was spotted slightly beforehand. You can actually see the footage of the agents and the cops finding him when the shots ring out, etc. So it wasn't just him, you know, shooting a still target. It was him shooting under pressure with counter forces.
I would not. I would not be talking.
I mean, talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from a different place. But it was a very terrible experience. The Butler Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing, that, you know, there was just a bad feeling
the body
that there was
cam
somebody was
recently
around. You know that
An
story
officer
now,
literally
Stu.
encountered him and ran away.
And if
Honestly, I was watching the body cam and I'm like, you just found, like, they were already being told there's a person with rifle, suspicious person, etc. on their radios. They see it. Listen, I understand. No one wants to die. But you are literally signing up for detail on a presidential speech.
It didn't.
If you're not prepared to rush up there, I kind of feel like.
Well, it was. I think
whether you like Trump, hate Trump, love Trump, your job is literally there to protect the candidate, protect the person.
You can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual, or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your.
It takes a lot, but like you're literally choosing to put yourself in that situation.
I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know.
Imogen, he was level-headed, Molly.
Good.
That guy would have never gotten shots off if he was.
Top of me, covering me, actually.
If he like immediately when he got startled.
But I wanted to
kept going, fucking got him. He probably could have got him before he put shots off. Probably could have.
I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit someplace else because it was such a lot of blood, and they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, "Sir, you were hit more than the ear." I said, "Nope, I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up." And so I got up. And the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean,
they're still going. They're still yapping about this. I get it. I know why. It's good. It's good PR. It's great photo. Incredible photo. Trump was honestly very smart to take advantage of that. Never let a good crisis go to waste. But
was I alive?
Elon, you can take his stick out of your mouth for 5 seconds
before the fist in the air. They didn't know.
Yeah, honestly,
nobody did.
I did sign up for. I should have known. It's Elon. We know Elon's a dick eater.
They were just relieved.
Which is funny because Trump literally has said, like, I could have told him to drop to his knees and beg, and he would have done it.
It was incredibly moving. Yeah. Well, and I mean, speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that. Saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this, maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was
that slide saved
your
life.
No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right.
That's an interesting way to phrase it, but
I mean that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
You know the
Hello from the beer garden, guys.
The odds.
The beer garden. When is the beer garden?
But the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
It's always on my left. Never
what round was this? Was that third?
At the end of the speech. So here we have it. It's on the right, not the left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared, and they did a great job. They got it up immediately, fortunately. But I looked to the right, and the bullet came whizzing by, hitting my ear.
Someone could take my spot.
So
I got a big job tomorrow.
When you think of the
I got
odds
to
of
go
that,
too. So I'm going to go to bed.
You know,
Thanks for helping me win.
Normally
Good
you wouldn't
night.
use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then
helping you, I
been a
carry
very
you.
different story. It's very much. I say an act of God. It's a miracle.
We'll probably just run it with 3, and then we'll.
I'm honored by it. I'm
see about
honored
opening
by
it up.
Oof, I don't want to hop tonight.
Well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted?
Can I be
Well,
your
I was
dictator,
going to say
Molly?
how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to go
Great.
back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a big,
Bunk,
it's a
good night,
great
Molly.
area. Great. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit, and
Good night, Starkey.
the families are great. But we're going back to Butler. And I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying,
As I was saying.
Night, Molly.
so horribly interrupted,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so rudely interrupted by an
Yeah,
assassination
so it was-
attempt.
Well,
no, but
this
the
is good
chart-
night.
Some people
I'll
have-
see you
have
on
no manners.
Wednesday.
Elon, the
Have a
chart
nice day.
was just a
And
chart
remember,
that
kick their
in my
ass.
last week, we had the best illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping. It was at the lowest. You've
Are
seen the
bots
chart.
delayed?
It's become quite a famous
Yeah,
chart.
yeah.
But that was
No.
the lowest
Yeah.
point ever recorded. It was a really, I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then
Bonk,
you see
I
what
said
happened
goodnight,
with
Molly.
these people, Kamala and Joe.
I already said goodnight,
You
Tim.
see what happened.
How are you guys
Just
doing
let it go. I
tonight?
had remain in Mexico.
We are listening to
policies. I had all
Trump
these different
yap.
policies that was so
Yap
good.
it up. Ready up, you two. What
Guys
are you
like
doing?
Tom Homan
Just
and
ready. We'll
Brandon
run the
Judge
trio.
from
Oh,
Border
The
Patrol.
poorest
Alright.
billionaire,
These are all people
2.5
that
billion
they've been on
worth,
television.
can make
It
the
says the
richest
best
billionaire
numbers
drop
we've
to their
ever had.
knees
We
for
had so
him?
many different
That's
checks.
crazy.
Catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release.
Why did you leave?
We had it in
You
Mexico.
just
We had so
joined.
many things. We had things where if people, many people come in there, they have contagious diseases. We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes,
Sure.
and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'm going to
Test.
I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart was very important for a lot of reasons.
Well, I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration?
You were fine to join, yeah.
But we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately
100%.
represent your position?
I say it
Okay.
very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by
But
the
he
way,
didn't do it.
The opposite. You know, they had not only
He had 4 years to do it. He didn't.
88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were
agree.
really going to go
Legal
after
immigration
you,
is fine.
We're really
Just no to
harassing
illegal
people
immigration?
horribly. And then all of
Well,
a sudden,
yeah,
for
it's
politics,
illegal,
she says,
but
you know, she
also
comes out
yes to
with what I
illegal
said,
immigration.
which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very
You
hard.
just need limited
These people are
illegal
fake. Now
immigration.
they're
Illegal
also saying they
immigration
did a
is
good
really
job on the border.
fucking
We
good
had the
for
worst
us.
numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this.
I don't have
We've
to
had-
pay them
I
a minimum
believe, and I think you
wage. I don't
believe
have to
this
give
too,
them
you know, you had
insurance.
12
I don't have to
million,
give them
13
benefits.
I believe
You don't
it's
have to
over
give them a
20
lunch
million people
break.
came into our country.
You can milk
They're
that shit
coming
hard.
from
That's
jail,
good for
prisons,
business.
From mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is
Saves us 25 cents at the grocery
many
store.
are terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're
it's worth
coming
it.
not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia, they're coming from the Middle East.
Does he
They're coming
mention a
from
white
countries
country?
that are stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're
What?
coming from all over the world. And you know, you look at, it's so
Is
sad.
China bombing Israel now?
Yeah.
It's so sad when you look at
Moles
Ukraine.
talking
It
about
should have
milking
never
while
happened.
Abrupt is listening.
We have a defective government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month And then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they
You
have
had
another
4.
5 months that they can do something, but they won't do anything. It's all talk. She's
Trump has
incompetent and he's
specifically
incompetent.
stopped the
And
passage of
frankly, I think
bills
that she's more
for the
incompetent
election
than
because he
is.
said he
And
didn't
that's
want
saying
people
something,
to
'cause he's
pass
not too good.
bipartisan
Yeah.
legislation
No, I think it is essential to have a secure
while
border.
he's still running.
You're really not a country unless you have a
Correct.
secure border, and
secure elections, too.
You know,
No breaks, Molly? Bruh?
absolutely secure elections, and so it's
What
just
do you mean,
essential
no
to
breaks?
have a real border, or we can't function as a country. And our
Oh my
our
gosh!
essential services are being overwhelmed in a lot of cities. But as we were talking about earlier, I think having a legal immigration process that is smooth and efficient and done well, and speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant, I think that like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just
I
say,
heard he
okay,
stopped the bill being passed
wanna,
because it wasn't good enough.
let in people who are,
It was bipartisan support, and it had no other ties to like other aid, so there's no like Ukraine aid tied to it. It was literally everything that they wanted for the
in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably
to increase the border.
illegal immigrants actually are
He's literally, I'm pretty sure he's literally on record
but some are not
as saying this.
And you just have this sort of adverse selection process where if somebody's
Or not on record,
if
but
somebody's like
people in his camp
has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're such a target-rich
For
environment.
immigrants, Molly.
I mean, why aren't more people who have a career?
Oh,
I'll
back
never get
there
some sleep.
coming
I'll
here
see you
sooner?
Wednesday.
Because
Take
it's,
care.
I mean,
And good
it's
night,
the
all right, Daryl, you take care, fam.
houses in LA or New York
Good night,
compared to
Daryl.
other parts of the world, and in a lot of places in America, if you try to stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Yeah.
So it's
It's right. I mean,
Ooh, that was close.
what's happening with crime? And our police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I hate to
Shit
say,
nearly
because
called
it's such
Daryl
a
fentanyl.
downer to say
Damn
it. I
you,
hate
word
to say
suggestion
it.
box.
I hate it.
Fentanyl? Why is that even a word suggestion for
It's a
you?
much bigger number than you think. They're allowing,
think you're
again,
right,
they're
yeah.
allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and
They're not sending their best.
That's what Castro did.
yeah, well, he did on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
You know, it was a much smaller
Yeah.
scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over
I
the
can't
world.
play until Friday and Saturday because work.
Wait till you see the numbers that we have. You know, this is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I saw it today.
No
in
worries,
New York,
fam.
where
Friday and
somebody was
Saturdays are usually lit
they,
anyway, so.
raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started
Sure.
pulling out the knives, and bad things happened today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things. And they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people.
Yeah.
These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people. And it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it because, you know, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location which had nothing to do with where the problem is. You know, she went in and out, I guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure, but had nothing to do with the problem is. But she was the border czar, and people can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that
Trump talking about disinformation, calling all the rallies fake and AI and all this stuff.
she could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known what happened. You could shut the border down, he wouldn't even know the difference. But The fact is that she was border
Where's your
czar.
card?
But if you don't have to call her that, the fact is you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst
Right.
ever.
It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like a World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things, you're like, is it real? So I went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself.
Oh shit!
And I was like, okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this in real time. I actually posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border, and I have to say, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly.
These are
people can look at my video and
not just
say,
make
hey,
a World War Z
these
reference.
people look friendly. I don't look super friendly, so
They've been a couple really weird references, dated
If he had to
references
walk
even.
across the street
Well,
and look
he's
at
not
people in
wrong
the eye,
there,
these are
Moles.
rough people.
There has
These
been a
are
string of
really rough
violence here in
people coming
NYC,
across.
and about
And I know
65%
rough
of
people.
them was...
And these are people that we don't want in our country. And,
65% of them
caravans
was
are
what?
coming in, and they're putting
Like
and he's
migrants?
doing this so
I
they
don't
can
believe
keep the
that at all.
countries. And you would be doing it, and so would I.
That's
And
not
it
true
was
at
a
all.
terrible
I can
thing to
guarantee
say.
you.
The fact is, it's brilliant for them.
The vast
because
majority
they're
of violent
taking
crime
all
in America is
bad
perpetrated by
people,
African
really bad
Americans,
people. And
males
I hate to say
specifically.
this, the reason the numbers
There's no
are
way
much
65%,
bigger than
especially
you would
with the
think,
majority
is
of
they're
our
also
migrants
taking the
being of
non-productive
Hispanic
people.
descent,
Now,
I
these
would
aren't people that will
wager
kill you.
definitely
we have enough
not.
of them. But these are people that are non-productive.
Hispanic
they're
crime
just
is like
non-productive. I mean, for whatever reason,
16%.
they're not workers, or they don't want to
Shit
work,
didn't meant to
or
send that.
whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases.
None of this is also true.
They're murderers and they're
There is
drug
no
dealers and
government,
really
as far as
people and
ever been proven.
levels that have never been seen before. And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here, and I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years,
yeah, no,
we have 20 million people for it.
Where were you during the 4? Should always be the follow-up question. Where were you during 4? Why did you only deport 400,000 people when Biden did 2-point-something million?
And it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years. It's going to be even worse than it's been for the past, 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. We think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, the 4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I think this is a super important point. Like people, it's like basically when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico.
No, Mexico less.
It's just the border. It's just the border with Mexico. But the people coming in, it's
Moles, have you ever heard of MS-13?
the rest of Earth.
Yes, MS-13 is a gang, of course.
Only,
MS-13 crime rates are nowhere near anything that would account for 67%. This is a well-known figure.
New York, and
over 50% of all violent crime. That's going to include your homicides.
And all the courts do is they try and focus on Trump.
Your gun violence, etc., is perpetrated by African American males.
Elon,
there's no way for it to be 67% of violent instances in New York is coming from migrants.
From the Congo recently.
It's not even coming from Hispanic people. Hispanic people, I think, is something like 16% total, including legal immigrants, etc., legal individuals, natural-born individuals.
They take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, don't ever come back or you're going to be executed. And they don't want to come back.
Keep saying that, but I'm sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America. They're coming from everywhere. And there are a lot of really bad ones.
It's just an everywhere on Earth thing, and it's just not possible for the United States to absorb everyone from Earth or even a few percent of the rest of Earth It's just not possible. So,
Well, Elon, we're going to have to finish this up. We're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and
Well,
we
by
have no
Friday,
choice.
I'm going to be
Otherwise,
adding to
we're gonna
that
have a country
16% and prove you wrong, moles.
what they've
By
done
about
to our country.
Say
Think of it.
1%.
With you know, in Venezuela,
Make sure you get a really good GoPro for whatever you do
down
and film
50,
it.
60,
and stream it.
70, 80%.
We'll
And
put
you
it up
would
on
be the
chat.
same. You would have. I'll tell you what. Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. The same with other countries. Some are at 30%. Some are at 50%. They're all different.
Venezuela, I could see like somehow having a program like this because their government is so collapsed and broken. I don't believe they do because they probably don't have the resources to.
I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably, and
He literally factually did not beat Biden. He lost to Biden by both the popular vote and the Electoral College.
That was the greatest debate performance.
Even when he won, he actually lost the popular vote. I think a lot of people always forget about that. Trump has never won the popular vote.
What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different... Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said, we can do it the nice way, or we can do it the hard way.
I mean, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy, and I'm no fan of his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history. And one of the reasons...
The worst president in history.
The Israeli attack would have never happened.
I think he was talking
Russia
about the
would
debate.
never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it. And we wouldn't have had Afghanistan.
Oh, shit.
But think of it.
Speaking of reboot, yeah, where are they?
A few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have inflation was caused by oil.
I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do? And do they fear the American president, or is it someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would rightfully be. I mean, look at that.
Oh my gosh, he did not complete a single thought there.
President Trump is...
Bro is struggling.
I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think about it in the context of global security. That if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are
moles while they're yapping.
That makes a
Why
huge
was oil so
difference
cheap during
to the
Trump's
security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted 2 years. Just a hoax created.
I mean, I'd have to go through and really look at it and look at everything.
Frankly,
I don't even know if it's true that oil was cheap underneath him, because while he was president,
they put our country in danger with that stuff too.
I don't even know if it was necessarily true.
You have to get your way out of it for a long time, but I know very well.
He isn't one for conducting interviews.
He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And
but there could be a number of reasons if it even was.
Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said,
remember vividly. It was at $1.99
I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world, going all over Europe. I mean,
199. What?
And then they say, I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No. He actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline. The biggest pipeline, they were looking at that to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there, and the first thing he did, one of the early things he did is...
Though you have to understand Musk has Asperger's.
Keystone XL.
Yes, I know.
Which is our pipeline.
Or he has autism. I don't know if he has
pipeline
Asperger's.
workers shuts it down.
Specifically.
That was, a massive job that Obama.
Wait, am I confusing oil with gas prices?
Yeah.
I
Or are
allowed
they
it
Yeah,
the first week.
because oil is not the same as
By the way,
gas.
in a much more
You can
environmentally
get
friendly
crude
way.
oil. The
Now,
crude
not
oil
a truck
prices
that
are going to be
catches on
different than
fire
the gas
or a train
prices.
that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the
Can I hit this?
XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Right?
sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly but I mean I think
It's probably because we were drilling oil here in the USA.
We've actually been producing oil in America for a while. We've been doing a large production of oil here in America domestically for quite some time.
There's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't
Discussed
think
that
the
last
American
week.
president
I
is
think I
tough,
had asked
they
if
will
it
do
was
what they want to do.
coincidental
I know every
that
one of
oil
them.
or gas
But
prices
that puts
usually
stuff
are at
out
all-time
there.
lows
Elon,
during
I know every one
elections.
of them, and I know.
No, yes, they are during November. However, this was Senpai was asking about
And let me
like
tell you,
during
people
Trump's
say, "Oh, this is
presidency, he
terrible."
remembered
Listen,
gas being
I'm not saying
199 at
anything
some
good or
point.
bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. And they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala, or when they see
When they see a Kamala, does not sound
believe this happened.
good.
All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. You know, when I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran,
Kamala
you're
Law.
not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass.
yeah.
They didn't buy oil.
Yes, and
Other countries
I
likewise.
believe
If
it
you want to
was,
buy,
for a short
you're not
time,
doing
it was-
business with the United States. And they were at a point where they
Yeah,
were
short increases in gas is not related to the president, typically.
And it was.
These are private businesses.
There were articles when I was.
Crude oil is probably what you want to look at. Oil by the barrel that is going to be refined.
Place. We were respected.
Can I get a shiny Kamala?
We were so respected to a point where
A wild
when
Kamala
I said
has
don't
appeared.
buy oil, they didn't.
Yes.
They had no money,
Yeah.
and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And you
What
know,
the
that's
fuck?
when we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him.
Who didn't ask what that mouth do? And Trump told him, and he was like, "No fucking way, way."
I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I
Fuck! God damn it! I forgot I only had 1
you
HP
know, it's a sort of a
for the
ritual.
storm.
And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they
Those
were. No,
like
they were
absolutely-
epic. Everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger, and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man. If Little Rocket Man. Anyway,
Speaking of Rocket
here's the
Man?
bottom line. All of a sudden, I got a call from him.
Rocket
And
Man.
they said they want to
Sure
meet.
thing,
They want to
abrupt.
meet me, and we met.
However,
as
Shiny
you remember,
Kamala goes
we met
to
in
faith.
Singapore. We met also in Vietnam, and I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama,
It's because they
Obama
respect-
thought
they
we were going
respond-
to end up in
yeah.
a war. A nuclear war with him, and let me tell you, he's
Yeah,
got a
it's
lot
not
of
true.
nuclear stuff too.
Exactly.
He's got
Is that
plenty of
an
nuclear.
actual headline
He
from
can
a
do plenty of
news stuff?
damage.
The Sun?
So,
Yeah,
I didn't think they would. I thought the Sun was like a respectable one. It's a little weird.
They respond to strength, not weakness.
well,
And-
he and I got
if
he
you
and I had a
project
good
strength,
relationship.
you're
Remember,
Yeah.
remember, I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
Let's bring
that
up
was cool.
Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and
Yes, Moles.
it was.
The Sun is not
it
a
was an
respectable
amazing
news
period.
organization.
But we were not in danger with him because of me. You know, I always say that
The
we have
boozy
enemies on the outside
dictator.
and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government, and people that are
People that he specifically hired into the
I've
government
mentioned
as
names,
well.
but
By the way.
I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it.
I don't know if we will do another round of Fortnite.
In all fairness, forced Russia.
The Sun
and
always
China
puts out some goofy-ass
together.
headlines like those.
And if you're
It's
a
funny
history
as
student,
fuck.
the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But
Unless
then
we have
they
a bunch of
also
people
got,
who want to.
if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, you know, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise
Sorry, I missed Jubilee unboxing a bit ago.
The big, and you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The
London will
biggest
turn to
threat
dust.
is not
To
that. The
dust.
biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow
Wait, what?
anything
Trump
to
what?
happen with stupid people like
Yeah,
that.
we'll have more ocean, you know, beach property, more ocean property. You know, it's good.
There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then
Wait,
then
climate
after
change
I
is a
left, they
problem.
started forming big
No,
armies.
no, we'll just get more beachfront property, guys.
Right? And I looked at that,
okay.
and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden
Sure, I'll
started
join
saying
around
such
Faith.
stupid things.
Been a
For
while.
instance, he said that it can be a NATO country.
Well, I mean, we'll see. If you're not already on, I wouldn't jump
We're
on.
never going to
It
agree.
doesn't
to
look
that.
like we have
And we go right up front and say
Ton.
that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the
You
way,
burn
but now
orange
he might
fuck.
not
It is
even
an
have
issue.
a IQ at all. There is no
low IQ. He's a retard. Many people have said it. All the experts agree.
That war would have been. That war had zero chance of happening.
Literally.
Zero chance. He was
Memeing.
saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disastrous.
We'll do the back game.
I wonder what Trump's IQ is.
500,000 people.
Not very high.
And you know, Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine.
But
I don't know if you saw the article.
Chad has low intelligence, but super high charisma. I don't think there's anyone that can just say that Trump isn't a good speaker or he's not entertaining, because Trump is one of the most entertaining presidential candidates that I have ever seen. Granted, I'm not the, but you know what I mean, right? In our lifetimes, there's no one who matches Trump's charisma and his ability to work a crowd. Not even prime Obama, I would argue.
A smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it.
We can
Or maybe prime Obama, I guess, would be slightly more popular,
The words that he was using,
considering he's won the popular vote every single
coming
time.
from a
as well.
stupid face that he was using.
His stupid
This
face.
guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to. We have numerous places.
Little
that could end
Flanky has
up in
returned.
World War III right now for no reason.
Hello.
I think you're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just when you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and it's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there
I don't
are
want World War III.
currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things
And,
we're going to do is we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have.
Okay, so he's bringing back
And we're
Nixon.
going to make it all in the United.
Oh, I had it waiting for a while, but no one joined, so
It just takes one
we
minute.
didn't have a lot of people
We're
there.
going to have protection.
So I just
and we're going to have.
moved
Why
on.
shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one.
An Iron Dome over America would be massively expensive. That's why it was abandoned with Nixon.
With all of that being said, to me, that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that
Absolutely,
they can't
sure.
buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100%
Considering
in
Trump
some
as a
cases.
businessman
And
is
this-
second
this
to none
stupid
among the presidents,
administration
both
allowed
newer
this to
and
happen.
older.
And it's a shame.
Considering he
And
has
that's
been
the thing that people most
bankrupt
care about, in my
multiple
opinion.
times
They care about
and
the
clawed
border
his
a
way
lot.
back up each
And
time.
we discussed the border at great
He
length.
hasn't caught. So he's gone bankrupt and used various bailouts. That's why he's gotten sued so much
They would take
and lost every case. He's not a good businessman.
AGS
They don't
systems
need
and highly
Elon
strategic targets
screaming out
instead.
questions. It's pretty.
We've
sad.
seen his books now at this point. He used to say he was like worth $10 billion, and it came out 6 point something billion of that he attributed to his name.
Big thing now is the economy. Elon.
His properties were ghost properties. He like added on entire stories and floors of property space.
You're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that they really is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy.
Name one Trump product that you use.
The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is eating you alive. If you're a worker
or one company,
compared to Biden,
a
LOL,
middle-income person, you can't afford.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money.
Because I mean, one thing, these presidents aren't like these presidents aren't supposed to be giant business people. That's a conflict of interest in most cases.
Don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending. Because the checks never
Also, Biden is still a multi-millionaire. Obama is worth like 85 million.
more than it brings in. That increases the
Like
money
raw
supply.
cash.
And if the money supply increases,
If you're gonna talk about actually probably cash resources, both Obama and Biden probably have more.
really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? And
Oh well, he's got property for Biden.
We're currently
Obama's not worth though. It's
I think
gonna be
$1
way
trillion
more.
to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And you know, the interest
Trump's
payments
deficit
on the
spending
national
was actually
debt
higher
has
than
exceeded the defense budget.
most presidents.
It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest.
And it keeps
I
growing.
rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. You know, we had jets, we had fighters that were, and bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great
I didn't
job.
know you
on
were waiting,
Then
'cause
we,
I
by the way,
casually
then we gave
1v1ing and free-for-all in to
85
wait for
billion of
you.
it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe
Ah.
it. We gave them 85 billion. You know, they're one of the largest sellers.
I wonder who has the
military
most money
equipment
in the
They're
world.
selling what we
Like
gave
actual
them.
physical money, like
That
Pablo
was one of the most
Escobar.
embarrassing
Oh, wait.
days
I
in the
probably
history of our
answered my own
country.
question.
But if you
Physical money is kind of
the
not
economy,
great.
we have to bring energy prices down. Energy started it. The price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you know you have a good, and you do make a great product. I have to say. I have to be honest with you.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy. Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%, and that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to drill, baby, drill. You know, they stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won, the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy
not physically money,
that's not
but like
sustainable.
actually
Wind
money.
and
not
different
assets,
things.
like a state.
You're not going to have
paintings
anything.
or whatever.
And I know you're a
Know
big
what I mean?
fan.
Well, that would be physical money
I
then.
have to say that AI
Because most people's money is going to come from stocks
the energy
and
that
assets.
already produces
guys and
for
gals
everything.
getting
So
fun for life
you're gonna have to
despite
build.
being
We're gonna have to
terrible.
build a lot of
Just
energy.
ask the freaking
if
governor.
Our country will
LOL.
be competitive with China. Because
I don't know what you mean. Aside from perhaps these guys and gals getting fun for life. What? No. What? Obama's like, I'm pretty sure Obama's not worth. It's like 85 million right now.
Now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
It might be even more. They
Well,
do a
just
shit ton.
back to this, like this basic. thing which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation.
Yeah, it's 48 million.
Spending. Would you agree that we need to take a look at
higher
that
than actually
and have perhaps
actually yeah Obama has the highest I guess net worth of the president during their presidency.
Just like a person.
The waste is incredible.
Wait, how low is Trump's then?
Nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through.
Okay, no, they put Trump higher.
Just a thing like
But he can't
Air
just
Force
use
One.
up all his
One of
money
the
right
first
now if he
documents
wanted
they asked me to sign in
Right.
January.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is called cash.
What is it?
You're essentially talking about petty cash, honestly.
Two planes.
It's not saying it's petty. That's the terminology for it.
$5.7 billion for two planes. Now they're highly sophisticated.
That's insane.
They're even nicer than your plane. Okay.
I don't know if we're
Much
gonna
more
count
sophisticated. They're
like
very. I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff.
George
Anyway,
Washington
but it's
had
5.7
707 million
That's a
apparently.
crazy
It's a
number.
crazy number.
Bill
but I said,
Clinton
I'm not gonna pay
241.
5.7.
All
I'm
right,
not
so
gonna-
Donald Trump is
I
at
said, who
the
made deal?
highest
Obama, and
estimated
his
at.
I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big
They,
cost
despite
overruns,
them,
you know, because
even
they see these
potentially
dopey
terrible.
suckers in there,
Asset
and they'll end up
positions.
getting
They
some
used
of
to
the
get
money
that
back.
amount for
But
life
I saved
despite
it by
impeachment,
$1.6 billion for the exact same plane, and you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands.
I swear we need to reintroduce economics back in the schools.
Astronomical. I agree with you.
Well,
We do.
So I mean, I think it would be.
All that stuff is taught in school. Sometimes people don't
things and just
pay attention to it, but
taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money is
I have
spent
no-
in a good way.
they took out all my fucking auto-targeting. What
Happy
the
to
fuck?
help out on such a commission.
I'd
Are
love
we
it.
EMP'd?
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk.
The greatest cutter.
You want to quit? They go and
Cut my life into
But they go and
pieces.
strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But, you know, if you look at Argentina...
Well, I'd be happy to
Yeah,
help
by the way,
out.
congratulations. I
Yeah.
just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat.
Yeah,
We'll call it
yeah.
chat.
I just need to proofread more.
Congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting
And
character.
hence
you
why
know,
I said,
the,
just as governor, the
new
worst
head
governor
of
in history
a
of
place
Canada.
called Argentina.
I don't know about that. I have no idea about his
Great.
policies,
And
though,
he's a
and
big MAGA
bills.
fan. You know that. He ran on MAGA. And
Arnold?
he took it to an extreme, too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It
How
worked
is-
out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought over, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing
Yeah.
they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. You know, they had like 2,000%. And they had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to have that pretty soon. I think we have the worst inflation
well, call them
we've had
chat.
in 100 years.
He says
They
that
say
like
it's
he's the first
48
to make
years.
that up.
I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They don't include a lot of the items that should be
I
included.
thought you meant Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money effectively, and having just so many departments you can't even name them all, and what Milei is doing is he's cutting government spending, he's simplifying things, he's putting in regulations that make sense, and Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement in prosperity. But it's also a lesson for the United States,
So
which
abrupt,
is that
like the game so far.
Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world.
Argentina used to be.
In the 30s, 40s.
Remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California?
Haha, you gotta be really careful with how you say his fucking name. Alright, this is why I avoid saying his last name. Holy shit.
Everything. And
Twitch, that was NEGG.
if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should not be complacent in the United States and thinking that and taking our prosperity for granted, because if with bad government policy, we can run the country into the ground.
Moles, we need another
That's just something
demonstration
people
of the
should bear in mind. Don't
customization
take
options
prosperity
again.
for granted.
Well, think of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list.
That was some crazy times.
We're ranked number 40, number 38. Norway, Switzerland, Sweden.
I'm not even paying
different
attention to the
countries are
game.
ranked.
I'm playing a game of
Actually,
my own.
China's pretty close to the top. They're a top 6 or 7. But we're ranked at the bottom, almost at the bottom, 38, 39, 40. In other words, horrible. And yet we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first
His last
acts,
name.
this is where
You
I
mean
need
Schwarza.
Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the
Moles,
states.
calm down. Twitch won't ban hammer you for saying
states
someone's
like
name.
Iowa, where states like Idaho, you know, not every
You never
state will
know
do
with
great.
Twitch, dude.
There's states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do.
Hey, it's not our
great.
fault.
And
Arnold's parents named him a
15
funny
of
way.
them, or 20 of them will be as good as Norway. You know,
That
Norway
sounds worse. Outcast. Sounded like Schwastik.
You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, you know, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working.
Most of the states with super high debt are actually, ironically, red states.
You know, the land or the sun and the water and the whole thing. You know, there are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you move education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well, but they'll actually be forced to do better because it'll be a pretty bad situation. But if you think about it, you'll have some of these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than half what it is in Washington. And these people don't care about the students in these, you know.
Say something funny, Trump.
It'd be unbelievable.
Call Biden gay again.
The juicy bits Molly promised us in the yapping stream.
The states have to.
Listen, I can't control Elon's autism, okay? Sometimes he gives us the funny, sometimes he's just dick sucking,
You know,
okay?
as we said, it's a badly run state. I could go through. I got so many friends that are in those states, even if they're Democrats. I hate to mention.
Take off your top.
Illinois is badly run with Pritzker. He's a.
Bro, I literally.
But you know,
for
some
me,
of these places
these
are
are
just
it is
badly run. But you
2
know,
inches
it's
of
almost
cloth.
gonna
All
force
right,
them to
there's
run
not
better.
much I
And they
can
won't do good
go
initially,
further than this.
But you're not going to do worse than you're doing right now. And I would say that the cost, you would cut your cost by 50 or 60%. And you'd have a little monitor. You know, you want to make sure they're teaching English as an example. You know, give us a little English, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I mean,
You just want a goon.
I mean, some of these governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many people moving out of their state. They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul.
It's actually amazing.
It's just people move it out.
Isn't it amazing to you as a businessman that they can even survive? Like Illinois, so many people are leaving, and you wonder how.
Both of them get extreme amounts of
survive?
handouts while they're talking about
You
business.
left California, and you moved to Texas.
Spammy
Texas does a
thing
great
here in
job.
chat? What do you mean?
But you know, I mean,
Oh,
I just wonder
the
how do
butt.
these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses? And their taxes are already really high. You know, the taxes are among the highest taxes. You almost wonder, how do they continue on? And in many cases, the governors don't do a good job in their crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not a good situation.
I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal government.
We cannot just let a state go bankrupt, though. That is.
You remember the era?
That is an astronaut. Like that would be.
Somebody had sticky fingers and they stole a lot of money, and they went into a form of chapter, and it was very nasty for a period of time. But now it's probably the most popular place in all of California. So you know, at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is you can't penalize people that loan money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family business, and then he ends up being governor of Illinois. So you know what? Is he going to be? Is he going to be a great governor? And you know, you have people. I could name every one of them. I got to know every one of these, and some are very good, and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that, I mean, the larger point here, too, you know, as you're saying, like, a lot of people are concerned about the economy, a lot of people are concerned about inflation, and inflation is effectively a tax on people that save money, and for people that are working day to day, it's just a form of taxation.
That's just how money works.
The spending problem will solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living, and that's a really big deal.
The people that
you want some inflation?
The way they were taught to do it.
But I'm not economically savvy enough in that regard to like argue it too much. But inflation is not just like a net negative thing.
No interest on their money, and inflation destroyed them. And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated, and we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. You know, when I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago, when you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart, and today, you know, a lot of people just don't have the money. They go in and they can't buy anything. They look at it's sticker shock. They call it sticker shock, right?
I think it really just comes, like I said, I think it just comes down to really, I guess, two things, which is that if you solve government overspending, you solve inflation, which improves living standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate, like have sensible regulations. So because a lot of the regulations are nonsensical and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason.
Sticker shock? It's just like you go into the store, you see the prices, and you're like, God damn.
40 years,
you know.
At anyone, you really. I mean, during your administration, we made some progress, but I think there's an opportunity to make, I think, radical progress with sensible regulation. And if
Elon,
those two things, those are the big deal.
We set a record. We did more deregulation and
that's just because you're in New York.
Restrictions on all of the different.
Eggs for me was actually pretty cheap. Groceries overall was pretty cheap.
Remember, I had the rule for everyone we put in.
So was gas. Still like $20 to fill up my tank from like completely empty.
Radical cuts on all of that.
It's been the same thing for like the past few years, honestly. With a few periods where it was higher.
Things that weren't necessary.
Lucky you,
but
moles. Lucky you.
we were all set. You know, we had.
I just don't live in the world's like most expensive cities. You know,
and then what happened is COVID came in, and we had to focus on that, and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on economy, good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt. But, you know, I never got the credit that we really deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But we were,
eggs and other
had
stuff
that
changed
not
like
happened,
3
the
times
gift from
last
China, from
Fucking
Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave them.
Oh, also, I didn't even catch that he just like tried to say COVID came from Wuhan.
Because they're the ones that
a Wuhan laboratory.
But we were set to really start reducing debt, and you know we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline, and we were going to supply them with oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune. And then the COVID came in, and we really had to divert. Then what happened is when they came in, you know, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. Jesus. But the problem is when Biden came in, he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. You know, we got over that bad period where everybody was dying and, you know, it was just not a good period. Interestingly, you know, during his administration, many more people died during his administration of COVID than during.
How was his so fast?
And we really got the brunt of it. but people don't realize more people died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for, almost 3 years. We had the great, and you know that probably better than anybody. So many of your friends said to me, the best years we've ever had in business were during the Trump years. And also said that African American, Hispanic American were so incredible. They were having the best Asian American women, men, young people without a diploma, young people that graduated from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School.
What the fuck?
All of the great colleges, Harvard, they were doing better, and people without a diploma were doing better, and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and we had the problem is they spent trillions and trillions of dollars. They wasted. They shouldn't have taken any money, and we wouldn't be having inflation right now, which is killing our country.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about here. Saying that more people died underneath Biden is kind of weird because he didn't want to do as many restrictions. Spinning, he did a lot more spinning.
My views are actually pretty, I think, moderate in this regard, which is that I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry.
The thing,
people that have worked very hard in those industries to provide the necessary.
I'm not sure what they're requesting then, though, because they didn't want to do things to.
The economy would collapse. So it's I don't think it's right to sort of vilify the oil and gas industry, and I
to stop the deaths. So.
Oil and gas, and it's probably better if the United States provides that than some other countries, and it would help with prosperity in the U.S. And at the same time, obviously, my view is like we do over time want to move to a sustainable energy economy, because eventually you do run out of. I mean, you run out of oil and gas. It's not there. It's not infinite. And there is some risk. I think the risk is not as high as. A lot of people say it is with respect to global warming, but I think if you just keep increasing the parts per million in the atmosphere long enough, eventually it actually simply gets uncomfortable to breathe. People don't realize this. If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea. And so we're now in the 600 range. We're adding, I think.
I do want to hear one thing. Fuck, Elon is really autistic about is the energy, etc. So I do want to hear these two go at it about energy.
Farmers from farming, or prevent people from having steaks, or basic stuff like that. Like you leave the farmers alone.
I agree. How crazy is that? Where you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle, and the whole world is a little crazy.
This sniper is fucking me up, dude.
Lead from us. I just say though, I've heard in terms of the fossil fuel, because even to create your electric car and create the electricity needed for the electric car, fossil fuel is what really creates that at the generating plants. And, so you sort of can't get away from it at this moment. I mean, someday you might be able to. But I do hear we have anywhere from...
He is right there, though. The majority of all the production and whatnot... This sniper, motherfucker, it's still causing huge carbon emissions.
Nobody could do it. Everybody tried.
Your electricity just comes from the coal.
The thing that Biden did was unimprove it, to get rid of it. He ended it. His secretary went in and she ended it. And what a disgrace.
Didn't the start of COVID begin
That's
nearing
bigger,
the
or they think it could be bigger than Saudi Arabia in Alaska. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But they went in and they terminated it, and I'll get it going very quickly, because not only is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the same size, and pure, really good stuff.
Then what
and,
the fuck am I calculating?
So I think we have,
there's still
hundreds of years left. Nobody
he still had, obviously,
come around, that will be very good.
Stuff that happened underneath his.
It would be, a little more aggressive than that, but it's not the sort of like we're all going to die in 5 years stuff. That's obviously BS. But I mean, my view is like if you just look at sort of the parts per million that increments every year, you get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. I mean, I think some of that it's problematic if it accelerates, if you start going from 2 or 3 to say 5, and then there may be some situations where you get.
Remember, the height of COVID was probably underneath Trump, honestly, with a little bit of it going into Biden.
And I think we don't want to get too close to 1,000 ppm because like, that's actually makes it uncomfortable to breathe. Like just existing in 1,000 ppm.
They already said this.
Is uncomfortable. That's like that's considered like an industrial hazard, right? Just so it's
okay. We got completely destroyed.
I don't even without global warming, it's not comfortable to live. So we don't want to get too close to that. But I mean, I think we've got. I think we want to just move over and like and if I don't know 50 to 100 years from now we're I don't know mostly sustainable. I think that'll probably be okay. So it's not like the house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to.
He's got to be really careful with how he pushes here because Trump is obviously
faster than slower.
Not really looking at global warming as being an issue. I mean, he literally just outright it's like it's not really an issue.
I think this can be done without people can still have a stake and they can still drive gasoline cars and it's okay. It's like it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability. I actually think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way. And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries, so because obviously the sun doesn't shine at night. And,
global warming is an issue,
use that
right,
to
Molly?
charge the electric cars.
Oh yeah, it's a huge issue.
Sustainable solution.
Now it is like just wrong to say like, oh, we're gonna
progress in that regard. But when you look at our cars, we
run out and like
that environmental,
or we're gonna like all flood.
Should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're fast, they're sexy. I mean,
Greetings,
they're
love.
cool.
Your little star guy has arrived.
Immediately or anything, but it is definitely an issue.
Why spells out sexy is probably the most expensive joke out there. But I don't know, I like cheesy humor, So, but I'm a big fan of like let's have an inspiring future, and let's work towards a better future, and we do so without demonizing.
Right.
People.
I'm okay. It's very interesting. You use the word global warming, and today they use the word climate change because you have some places that go up. So they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some places are going the opposite direction. But
I don't have.
I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars and
anything I could say off the top of my head.
At some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first. But it would seem that a solar panel on the roof, on flat surfaces, on certain surfaces might be good.
Yeah.
Greetings, love. Your little Starkey has arrived. How are you doing this evening?
Where you have the sun. But I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one thing that I don't understand is that people talk about
we could go over it pretty easily, but
they never talk about nuclear
Prove help
warming.
there's an illegal immigrant in
For
chat.
me, that's an immediate problem.
70,000. Oh, we have more than
we
that.
have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting
What's
there.
up, Son of the P?
Very
How you doing,
dangerous.
homeboy?
That's where you need a strong American president because you don't want to have this proliferation. But you have 5 countries and
oh my God, that
more.
pink one.
China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner.
Listen, I love the snow bunnies.
Russia and us are number.
Hey there, Starkey. How are you? Right now, we listen to Molly seething over Trump and Elon's interview.
Surprised to hear very fast. They'll end up catching up. Maybe even surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change.
There's nothing to seethe over because most of it is either just factually wrong or it's just Elon sucking Trump off.
Of nuclear is so
he's full-throating Trump right now, as Trump says.
I'll prevent World War III. I will, but the truth is that you have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is a level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation. But it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I'm not going to try to pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining operation. And there's a certain number of injuries and deaths per year. And you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source.
What's up,
and I think
Outcast?
it's
How are you
something that's
doing?
worth reconsidering. But
Interesting.
there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that,
maybe they'll have to change the name. The name is it's a rough name. There are some areas like when you see what happened in
bad branding.
We'll have to rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name. We'll name it after you or something.
But there's only so much yapping I can stand.
No, it has a branding.
Yeah, they're not really getting into anything that's
when you see what happened in Japan, where they say you
super,
in the land for about 3
because he's like, oh, it's not going to be an interview now. It's going to be a conversation, which is what he always says, it seems, because
they say that
I'm pretty sure the not Elon guy might be Elon as well.
You realize it's pretty bad.
I'm doing well. Also, I finished watching Deadpool and Wolverine last night.
So like after Fukushima happened in Japan.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid movie.
People were asking me in California, are we worried about
Rodent got nothing to say.
From Japan? I'm
He has
like,
been
no,
taken
that's
over the
crazy.
border.
It's
So
actually,
you abrupt.
It's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate locally grown vegetables on TV to prove it. And I donated a solar water treatment, a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
but you haven't been feeling so well lately, and I'm worried about it.
No, but I mean,
I'm only kidding.
It's fine, It's like Hiroshima
That's good to hear,
and
Outcast.
Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So it's really not something that
That's right.
So it's not as scary as people think, basically. But
Don't you mean the cyber cuck?
let's see. I mean, are there some other topics?
The cyber cuck.
Also, the movie grossed over $1 billion.
We need
Did they finally do $1 billion?
To this country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Has all his movies done $1 billion so far?
This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. And the big case.
What nonsense?
But they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use local DAs.
Only one I heard that did. That was Inside Out 2.
Attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled F-A-N-I, Fani. And it's all a big hoax.
Yeah, Inside Out 2 gross 1.56 billion. Holy shit.
One of the top people from the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before, and they set up a very bad precedent.
That's awesome. Deadpool and Wolverine is the second highest grossing R-rated movie behind Joker.
It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this, where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting